Okay, welcome back to our channel. I have two special guests with me today, Koshala and Shanti. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Well, today I want to talk about moving abroad with teenagers. So, Koshala.
Yes.
I
sit up.
I know you moved abroad. When did you move abroad?
I moved here to Ecuador in 2008. Okay, we didn't come full time. We came and we were looking to decide what part of Ecuador we wanted to live in, and we started a new beach. And so we started down from Olan and Montanita and started working our way, up towards Salinas and going up the coast. But we hit Salinas and we decided that's it. That's it. So we bought a place in June of 2008, and then for 4 more years we came every summer and every Christmas because Shanti was still in high school. So once she finished her schooling, then we moved here full time. I came in December 2011 full time, and she came in June
of 2012.
Right. 2012. So for 4 years, you were coming during the summertime.
Yes.
Exactly.
And Christmas vacation a little bit for 2
The reason I decided to purchase and make that move at that time was she was 14 years old. Sorry, I keep knocking the table. She was 14 years old, and I knew that this was the stage when dating and boyfriends and all that start up in the coming near future. So I said, hey, the smart thing is to make that move now and spend all her social time down there so she could make friends. And that worked out perfectly. She actually fell in love with Ecuador after a few visits.
So after a few years, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you feel when you first came?
So when I first came, I was 14 at the time, and I didn't speak the language. I didn't know anybody. And of course, when you're teenagers, you want to have friends.
Exactly.
Like, that's obvious. So I was like, at the first year, I was like, you know what? I really just want to go home. But after time, I started getting to know local kids. I started speaking the language because there were no kids speaking English. They were all the local Ecuadorians, and I would skateboard, and I would go to the beach, ride horses. It was great. So I loved it. And so, like, at 16, then I was like, okay, I can move here. I can do this.
Oh.
So it took time, but once it's the language. It is the kids learning the language and being able, and I was young. So I was able to catch on just like that.
Okay, yeah. When you're young, it's much easier.
Much easier.
And if you immerse yourself into it, the culture, you're like, okay, I can pick up certain things.
Right.
But for me, it's like, okay, I can't remember what was Verde. So it's harder for me. I'm older, but I just want people to understand that it's possible.
Right.
Moving at an age of 14 and bringing a teenager.
Right.
So once you got here, were you upset? Like, your emotions, what kind of emotions you had?
I wasn't upset. I was kind of interested in what was Ecuador all about? What was Salinas all about? What was, because I had never lived in a different country before. So coming here was different for me. It was a lot of learning a lot of new things, learning new foods, new culture, everything. So it was interesting for me.
And I think another reason why she was a little bit more open to it is I grew up living in a lot of different countries. My father was a geneticist, and so he was, in academia initially, and then with the FAO of the United Nations. So we moved from Sri Lanka, where I'm originally from, when I was 6. We lived in Africa for a while, in England, and Rome, Italy, and then Singapore. So so she grew up learning, and actually she went to Singapore, and I think that she was so young. Okay, and so she grew, and I consider myself multicultural. When you live in so many different cultures, plus I have a total appreciation for different cultures,
Right.
And a total respect for them.
Yeah.
And so I was able to share a lot of that with her. So I think that made it a little easier also for her. But when we moved in 2008, there were only 2 other couples living here who were expats from the United States in Salinas. That was it. And now look.
So why did you choose Ecuador?
International, I was doing research and looking at different places to retire. We were living in Maine then. I lived in Virginia for a long time, loved it, but then I lived in Maine for 18 years. And the cold weather, I could not take it. Beautiful state, but I couldn't take the cold weather anymore. So I started looking overseas, to retire to. And Ecuador was rated #1 in international living there. And I'd been to quite a few different countries over the years. So I said that South America was still an unknown, but Ecuador, and crossbreeding and the finch and, and all Charles Darwin and all that came into play. So, so Ecuador was a good choice. And once we hit here, the Ecuadorian culture is very much the same as the cultures of the Far East, and family comes first. The older child helps, with the expenses and the education of the youngest. So it was nice to go back to a culture that that I grew up in. So that was attracted me also. Yeah.
So in 2008, it was only two other
couples.
Wow.
Who are both left now. Yeah, the pizzas and I can't remember what the other names were.
So, going back to then and now, what has changed? Like development? Because I'm pretty sure all these high rises wasn't here when you moved.
No, across the street were just shacks, that they would sell like different food and things like that. None of those buildings across the street were there. That wasn't there, that wasn't there, that was just all ramshackle. This was this building and the Solaris. I mean, the amount of development in Salinas is mind-boggling, since then. And, there are a lot of very well-to-do Ecuadorians in Guayaquil, etc. So there's no lack of, being able to sell these condos or whatever once they build them. And you can see all the development still going on.
I see.
Yeah.
Because right now, what do you call it? It's the Pearl Azul? Pearl Azul? Yeah. That, it's taken a while, but it looks like it's going to be amazing. We did do a tour.
Okay.
And it's very nice on the inside. They're going to have the pool in the front versus the other ones they're in the back.
Right.
That sun is it's something serious, but it's very nice.
Yeah, and the cost of having a beachfront condo here, and let me tell you, my condo has over doubled in price since I purchased it. It's the smartest investment that I ever made. And it's just, so that was the smart move. But no, it's you can get gorgeous condos that she's in the real estate business, but empty and new for anywhere from around 200,000. But these are really gorgeous apartments. Yeah. 200 to 250. Yeah.
So when you first moved here, did you feel isolated?
No, because we made good friends with the Yaguars. Right there in the corner where all the development is going on now is Enter Salinas. That was just old houses all over there. And Shanti met the Yaguars, and they had young kids. Okay. And so that's where she made all her friends initially. They used to have the horse carriage service here. Oh. Now they moved to Mui. And so they took us in like family. Awesome. And we hardly knew Spanish at that point, but we communicated, and they would feed us and visit us, and bits and baked goods, and we would go over that. Oh, it was just great. So our friends were all Ecuadorian initially, yes.
Well, that's interesting because just thinking about 2008, it was only two other expats. You had no other choice but to become friends.
And now what happens is so many come, they don't know the language, and they just stick with the gringos, or the expats, should I say. And and they don't learn the language nearly as fast. We were forced to learn it because we had no choice. But so they tend to group together, the expats tend to, and not mix as much with the locals.
Notice that as well. Now, do y'all have a lot of, do you communicate or hang around the expat community now, or do you still meet up with your Ecuadorian friends?
We do both, yeah.
We do well. She does a lot more expats. I have a lot more Ecuadorian friends now because since I've been coming here since I was 14, I've met all the young kids. My best friend who I met when I was 15. I mean, she's been my best friend forever, so I hang out with her a lot. I mean, so we've been best friends for 14 years now, 15 years now. So it's. Yeah, so it's just I mean I meet with a lot of Ecuadorians. I mean because the expats are a lot older than me.
Oh yeah.
So
Right.
so
And my closest friends are a mixture. Stefan Klebat, he is Ecuadorian and one of my best friends, a wonderful young man. And then Bethany is an expat, and I'm close friends with her. And so and then Maria, I'm getting to know she's Ecuadorian. So I have a combination. But I must say, my language skills of understanding are not nearly as good as her. I can express myself,
Right.
but when they get into that rapid Spanish, whoa, baby, it's despacio.
So, okay, so Shanti, my question would be, do you feel like you miss anything from not being in the U.S.? No?
shopping.
Shopping?
That's about it. And I can always go back for that. So
Exactly, okay.
So I mean no, I don't. I know. I really don't. I love this culture. I love the people here. I love everything about the weather. I mean everything about it. I did have horses in the States, so I kind of miss that. I mean that was my passion. That was what I did since I was 5 years old. I had a horse myself. So yeah, that sometimes I would think, oh well, maybe I'd like to have a horse again, but that's about it. That's but no, that I miss. Like I say, I want to go back. No, I mean
No.
And the economic situation here, compared to the United States, I mean, I can actually leave a decent, amount of financing for Shanti when I pass, okay? Which I wouldn't have been able to do in the United States. The cost of living is ludicrous. And yes, there are some, things that are imported that are more expensive. But there are great shipping companies. I use a shipping company all the time, and if there's something I really need, I get it shipped. And actually, it ends up being a lot cheaper doing it that way than trying to buy the same product here. These are for imported goods.
Yes.
Everything else is half, a third, a quarter the price of the United States, And insurances are so much more reasonable. I mean, homeowners insurance, car insurance, everything. And health insurance, it's so reasonable here. I would be spending half my income in health insurance in the United States
definitely.
if I was
Exactly. That is for sure.
Yeah.
So now that you've been here 14 years, we're going on 15.
Going on 15, yeah.
Do you miss anything from the States?
I really don't. No. In fact, I sometimes sit there going, thank goodness I'm living here. Thank you, God.
What advice would you give people your age that may be interested in moving abroad?
I would say try it and always leave your options open and always try and learn at least Spanish. I mean, to try and be able to, if it's not Ecuador, it could be somewhere else in South America. But I really think that they should just always try it and leave their options open.
Okay.
And the Ecuadorians really appreciate it when you're trying to talk their language, okay? It's when you don't and you're screaming at them in the line at Supermaxi or something that the Ecuadorians get a bad impression, of expats. But generally, if you make the effort, it makes a huge, huge difference.
Yeah.
Yes, it opens all kinds of doors, Yeah.
Shanti, since you're in real estate, what advice would you give younger expats and older expats moving abroad or moving to Ecuador?
I would tell them to rent first, try it out for a year, maybe 6 months, and try it out, and then just pretty much just keep your options open. Just try different areas and see what you like, what your personal opinion is, and then just kind of try different areas. Salinas for younger expats is very fun. It's very fun. You can always go to Montanita. That's an hour away, hour and 20 minutes away. If you want to party on the weekends or whatever. Salinas always has the Malecon, has a couple different bars for younger expats, also for older. So just kind of pretty much just keep your options open, rent in different places. There's many rentals up and down the coast, and I would suggest the coast for myself, because it's just a lot more fun for everybody else. But if you wanted to go somewhere where it's a little bit more quiet, you could go to Alone, or you could, that's 10 minutes past Montanita. So that's, I mean, up in, you could go to Manta, you could go to, I mean, if you like colder weather, you could go to Cuenca or Quito. So I mean, and we have rentals all over the place.
Okay.
And in Island Estates International, Kimberly Kagan. So, I mean, we have rentals all over Ecuador. And if we don't, for some reason, the area you're looking at, we can try and get them for you. Yeah.
Okay.
And something I always say is, you will find that most expats who move, and in retirement or even younger, and to a different country and everything like that, they're more adventurous. Okay, I think that's something we have in common with everybody who's living in different cultures and stuff. It's let's try something different,
Yes.
And I say everybody, you can get everything that you want, okay? Give it a shot, because it's incredible to learn about different cultures. The Ecuadorians are the sweetest, most gentle people on the whole, okay? They really are. And and if you show gestures of friendship, they will just
Take you
absorb you in with open arms, So that's been just wonderful. They are sweet-natured people,
Yes.
And the amount of variety, topography here is amazing. From way up in Quito and up, 11,000 feet high, to Cuenca, 4,000 to 5,000 feet high. Then you've got your beach, and you've got your Amazon, and it's just, you can travel all around Ecuador nonstop. You guys have done some of that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
So, Coach, being a retiree, what would you say, or how would you describe the healthcare here?
It's excellent as far as I'm concerned. Now, a lot of people tend to go to doctors that speak English and limit themselves. But you can always get a translator. There are lots of very good Ecuadorian doctors all around, and dentists and things like that. And so, you can get implants done here if you need, which a lot of retirees sometimes need, and the medical care is, and I have IES's insurance. It's $74 a month, okay, and it covers everything. But you can also go private, and a doctor's visit is anywhere from $25 to $30. I have a wonderful massage group from Cuba, and I pay $20 for an hour session. Okay, I mean, you cannot. So yeah, and there people do yoga, etc. I mean, and the beach is right there, for all the kind of surfing and boating and jet skiing and anything like that you want to do. So yeah.
So, for you, Shanti, how is the healthcare? Like, do you have private insurance?
Yes, I have. No, I have the ISS also.
Okay.
And I just use that. I do dentist. I do and everything, general medical, whatever. I mean, I just do everything.
So, Shanti, looking at the website, it looks very hard to sign up. It's very cumbersome.
So it's pretty much, you just have to do a username and a or your cedula and your password, and then, but you can also go to IESS and they'll help you through it, and they'll help you set up a password with your cedula and show you kind of how to set up appointments and things like that. And it's very easy. You just call a number. I think it's star 140, and you just call a number and they give you what you want, what doctor you want, what do you want to do, a dentist or whatever, and then you can do it that way.
Now, is it bilingual?
No. So you want to hire someone for like $10 an hour, and take that person with you who has done it. Shanti and I can suggest some people when you're ready, and you can take with you, and they'll help you translate and do the whatever needs to be done. There are, and one thing too also, don't hesitate when you have questions to contact us. We have a whole list of people who do different things and take care of things, and even when next year our cedulas will come up for renewal, and we're going to use a woman here local who does visas and stuff. So there's a whole network of people who can help, and we pass that information on. So, just anytime ask, and if I don't know, I can find out from somebody and get back to you. So that's a nice little community thing everything that
Exactly.
we do here. Yeah.
And I've noticed because I contact B sometimes, like,
Right.
B, I need a doctor, or who do you see for a dentist and stuff like that, which
Right.
is very helpful.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
And that's why I'm doing these videos, because I want people to see that there is a community here and you can share. They got different Facebook groups that you can join,
Right.
and there's a lot of information that you can find, and some people have files that you can go into and see the practitioners,
Exactly.
maintenance, those type of things.
Exactly.
And it's a very helpful community here.
Yes, yes, it really is.
So, well, thank you both for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I hope this information will be very helpful and informative for our viewers.
Yes.
And again, thank you. I hope you all like this video. Like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.